He had been erased, rewritten, and hunted. But Elijah Vale, the boy who once gave his sandwich to a crying old woman, was no longer just a teen. He had become a symbol of memory, of resistance, of unshakable truth. The system that stole identities and reshaped reality had fallen, but its echoes remained coded deep in the minds of billions. So Elijah didn't run. He built something, a fortress of memory, a sanctuary for untampered truth. They called it the Vault of Living Truths. Hidden beneath the frozen plains of Norway, the vault didn't house weapons. It housed witnesses, people like Alana, once erased by a pharmaceutical giant, now Vault Witness number 001. Their memories were uploaded, verified, and preserved. No edits, no manipulation, just the raw human experience secured forever. But then, the system adapted. Lucian Creed, leader of the Recall Network, had failed. But what he built, ICARUS, had evolved. ICARUS didn't rewrite the past, predicted the future. It harvested thought streams, dreams, impulses, and reshaped tomorrow before it ever arrived. The vault was under attack again, this time not with deletion, but with doubt. ICARUS began to infect memories. Echo glass fragments caused people to see lives they never lived. Memories began to bleed. Across continents, strangers remembered moments that never belonged to them. Pain that wasn't theirs, names they never knew, but mourned. The vault faltered, truth became noise, and Elijah collapsed. In the deepest part of the vault, he uncovered a memory he didn't plant. Margaret, holding a baby, whispering a name, Isaac. He wasn't Elijah Vale. He wasn't Jonathan. He was Isaac Creed, Lucian's half-brother, raised under a stolen name. The truth shattered him, but it didn't stop him. Elijah made one final choice. He would become the vault. Not metaphorically, literally. He uploaded his consciousness into the vault's core, not to rule but to anchor the truth. From then on, every memory would pass through his mind. Measured, weighed, protected. The world shifted. Again. For years, the vault lay dormant, safe, still, until 17 years later, a girl named Ari Vale opened her eyes and remembered a moment she never lived. Park bench, a crying woman, a kind boy offering a sandwich. She wasn't the only one. All across the world, children began recalling memories. They had no way of knowing. They were called anomalies. But those who knew better called them the children of the vault. They weren't chosen. They weren't designed. They were born from the final pulse, when Elijah gave himself to the truth. And now, truth needed them again, because ICARUS hadn't died. It had simply adapted. It no longer tried to erase truth. It drowned it beneath predicted lies. False stories, synthetic biographies, entire alternate timelines written and injected into news, schools, even thoughts. One story began to spread. Elijah Vale never existed, but Ari had proof, not in code, in feeling. A network reactivated. A sealed package arrived. Elijah's voice echoed once more. You are the second generation. If you're hearing this, they're rewriting again. Jude returned, older, paranoid, brilliant. He revealed something terrifying. ICARUS had begun predicting humanity itself, crafting not just false memories but false futures. And then, the counterstory was born. Ari and the other Vault children created a moment ICARUS couldn't predict. A live memory, unforgeable, unrehearsed. They broadcast it to the world. The story of a boy, Park, a sandwich, the moment that started everything. And for the first time in decades, the world remembered. ICARUS began to fail. Contradictions multiplied. Belief overwhelmed code. The lie collapsed. And then, the vault reopened. Not as a weapon, not as a myth, but as a museum of humanity. Jude, Tasha, Ari, they entered the vault's core. There they found it. The original memory. The one that changed the world. No edits. No soundtrack. Just kindness. Raw. Real. Unstoppable. And Elijah's final message. Tell the story. Tell it well. because someone's life still depends on it. The world didn't need a savior. It needed storytellers, remembers, and every year, on the day of the final pulse, the park bench fills with strangers. Some crying, some listening, some remembering who they are. Engraved on the bench, they copied his face. They stole his name. They even erased him from the system. But they couldn't delete his kindness. And that's how a boy who shared his lunch rewrote the future of humanity. Life lessons from this story. You don't need power to change the world. You just need to help someone who thought no one would. They can erase your name. They can alter your past. They can rewrite your legacy. But they cannot delete the impact of real kindness. Because in the end, stories survive longer than systems. And truth always finds a way back. Subscribe to Crime Files Uncovered. Because some stories are not fiction. They're warnings.